All right. It says I'm live. I think I set this thing public. I'm not sure what I set it at. Um, Hopefully some people get in here and make the trip. Let me know it's actually on. So there's that. You never know. I've got my phone's on charge. It was low on battery. I didn't plan to really do this right now, but it needs to be done at some point. So yeah, there's one in the room. That's good. It means it's working. I could just about guess. Well, there's two in the room, so now I can't guess. But I think JD's in here somewhere, probably. Three in the room. You're looking at a blank screen because that's the video you get where I'm at right now. I can't exactly film outside of where I'm at. Yep. I see your icon. Appreciate it. Thanks for making the trip. So this live is going to be, yeah, I see that. This live is going to be basically giving you intel for tomorrow's live, just like the other one was. I'm going to put links up in comments, all the links I can find, including the picture that I put up on the YouTube page and the picture that I put up on the Twitter page. And I'm going to tell you about another hanging that I heard about on the radio that I haven't seen anywhere else. And if anybody finds it, I'd appreciate a link to it. But let's start from the start. From the start, there have been times when you've looked at things on the news and kind of questioned them and been like, you know, who the hell would kill themselves like that? You know, everybody talks about the ones in the park that were, you know, tied to people that were, you know, well known and all this other stuff. But there was a trucker. First, there was a woman trucker. That one I don't really know about, and other YouTubers talked about it, and I can't remember the woman's name, but it was somewhere in Louisiana. Well, she was found dead in her truck, and a lot of people questioned, hey, what could that have been? Because it could have been foul play because she seemed to be young and healthy. Who knows? I don't know what they did with the coroner's report. I never saw any answers on that. But then after that, there was a truck driver that was a young black guy, and he had a lot of reasons to live. He had a newborn kid or a young kid, maybe a kid and a newborn. I'm not sure, but he had a family. And generally, that's not the kind of person, I don't think, that would kill himself. But what do I know, right? I know if you ever find me hanging from a rope, you can pretty much, I can guarantee you it was somebody else that tied it. So going further from there, it seems like that one was weird. Now, I'm a truck driver, and I can tell you that it is difficult to block in cargo on a truck. It's difficult to use E-track and E-straps to hold a load in place. Sometimes it falls over anyway. It's difficult to use load locks in a trailer. They'll fall off the walls. Okay, which is why they came up with E-track, but even E-track can, you know, the ends can mess up and they can slip out or whatever. It could be hard to get them in there in the first place. Or you could not latch them right and they could fall. The ribs on the top of an 18-wheeler trailer are so damn weak and fragile that anytime a forklift hits the roof, it usually messes with the ribs. Sometimes they'll punch them two little holes for the hydraulic hoses, the two little holes that punch holes in the roof, and you got to get it patched, right? So you see a lot of these trailers with a piece of metal that's square and a whole bunch of holes they drilled in it and rivet holes and a glue behind it. and you can kind of tell, okay, that was a hole. They patched it, and you hope it don't leak so that your freight don't get damaged, and you hope that they'll accept the trailer being that it was patched. But I don't think there's a trailer in the United States that will hold a person. I am still trying to figure out just how the actual hell somebody could hang themselves in the back of a trailer. I don't know what it looked like or how. They didn't show anything. They just said he hung himself and killed himself by hanging himself in the back of a trailer. Nobody wants to even get into the back of their trailer. It's a pain in the ass. It's hard. You got to get up in there and then, walk the whole thing off, and nobody wants to sweep them. Nobody wants to. The last place you want to actually mess with is the back of your trailer. Now, you could take it to Blue Beacon and have them wash it out. They get in there. You don't even want to go look. When they say it's clean, okay, you got it good? Okay, great. And you leave. You shut the doors. Maybe you park on a hill if it needs to drain out. Or if it's a reefer unit, you turn it on. Nobody's trying to be in the back of a trailer. Nobody. We hate having to sweep them out, and it's like 500 degrees in there all the time. That's why you hear about these people that are damn smuggling people from Mexico, immigrants, illegal immigrants. And it's so hot back there that some of them died. They had one that was in Texas that this driver, they let some of them out. One guy in the Walmart parking lot, or one that I think it was a Walmart. He was asking for water. They just did a report on this, and come to find out when he was asking for water, the guy, checked out where he was going. He went back to this trailer, and it was a whole trailer load of people, and some of them were dead in there already, and all the rest of them are dying from heat stroke. I don't know if any more of them died when they got to the hospital, but they were trying to feed them. Nobody wants to get in the back of a truck. It's so hot in the back of a trailer. It's hot. Well, you're not going to make me believe that dude got up in that damn trailer and hung himself. You're just not. You're not. I mean, you feel like you're dying just walking in there. Okay? So, going further from that, they've had hangings in all kinds of different states. There was a couple in California. Or at least one in California, but there was a couple in Texas. There was one in Texas, and there was like two before that in Texas, being found in a park and this and that, and all their families going, why are you ruling this suicide? How are you ruling it suicide right off the bat when you don't know that person? You don't know nothing about them, and we don't think they were suicidal because they had a lot going for them. So there's this shit going on. And they're putting it in the news, and the news anchors, whether they're black or white, it doesn't matter. They are reporting that, and the police determining it's suicide and letting it go like that. Now I'm going to say something. For them always to have an opinion, and they always slide their opinion in, and they always make comments and stuff, they're not making opinion at all when they report this stuff. So, if you're a news reporter, yes, it's your job to report the news. However, if you're not even given any kind of opinion on that and you're just reading what they say and you're happy to do so, you are implicit or complicit or whatever in the murder or improper death of an individual. I'm going to say that. The news reporters have an obligation to the people. They're no longer, they're all actors. They all just read scripts. However, you can't feed me a line of bullshit and expect me to accept it and then say, well, it's not your fault because you're just supposed to read the script. When you have all these other opinions on every other news thing that you say, oh, it looks like they're having a good time out there, or oh, it looks like it's raining, and they laugh and joke and ha-ha, and they have bloopers where they, do whatever with green screen, but they got no opinion on somebody found hanged in a park that was ruled suicide, and they're not looking around and seeing that it's happening in all these other states. Now, what set me off and made me that I was going to do this video was this. I've been sitting back and watching. I've been taking some kind of notes, but they're half-assed notes, I'll be honest. I'm not up on all of it. Your homework is to find all of it and bring it to me tomorrow. Find this shit. Because there's a lot more than what they're saying, because I heard one that never made any kind of national news. Never made TV news as far as I know, but I heard it on a radio station. And it was off in the distance and it was just coming in. And they're saying that there was a person. I wrote these notes down right here. This is one I hadn't seen nowhere else. There's a place called Sheldon, Sheldon is how I think it's spelled, City Park. Sheldon City Park in Iowa. Okay? And they said that it was a hanging, and they quickly said, we believe it was ruled suicide. Now, I called into a radio program, and evidently they didn't like it too much that I said, it seems kind of odd, people being hung, for suicide, committing suicide by hanging themselves. That seems kind of odd, don't you think? Oh, well, it is an odd way. And they had a sheriff on there that was an ex-sheriff or something like that, or a police officer. I'm not sure what branch. I just know that he was retired. Okay, well, fine. Well, here's the thing. Okay? They were saying, with the riots going on, that they were saying it's not like black people are systematically being killed in the streets. So I called up there, or being hanged is what they said. I called up to the radio program. I says, with all due respect, you said that it's not like black people are being hung in the streets. Well, with all due respect, I beg to differ. I disagree with that. I think they are. Oh, well, there was one. No. I'm counting 7, and that's just the ones I've looked at, 7 or 8. Now, I'm not trying to rile nobody up. There's already riots going on and shit. I am not trying to get nobody upset about this. I am simply trying to say that as an observer of news, and I try to find news, but this shit is so much, it's like they put it on the news, and then just like that, it's off the news, and you'll never hear about it again, and it was already ruled a suicide, case closed, bam, done, shut the door. So, at least take a tally of this shit. At least keep a count of what's going on and start putting puzzle pieces together, because either we have a serial killer on the loose that's going all over the damn country, all these places, or systematically the same damn shit's happening, and who knows who the hell's doing it. But it's happening, and it's real. And you can't put it on the news and then turn around and say, oh, but don't talk about that. No, hell no. You done put it on the news, let's talk about it. It's time we see what the hell's going on. I'm going to say this. In the same way that women walking need to be in the buddy system, I think that people walking need to be on a buddy system till we can figure out what the fuck's going on with this shit here. Anybody wants to make a comment, you go ahead. Like I said, you'll have homework for tomorrow. This is just going to be a quick live. I'll be for a few more minutes, and then I'll get off this thing because I got work to do. Okay? I had to take a break, so I took a break. And this is the end of my break, and I'm like just sitting here. I pop some popcorn. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this up so that you will be informed, because I'm not trying to blindside people with this shit. And I don't want to. I can't argue with someone a point or even bring up some new news to someone. It's not fair that I'm coming armed and everybody else is unarmed with knowledge for the conversation. So I'm going to put up links, and I will type in that Sheldon City. If anybody can Google that, it might be easy to Google. I hadn't Googled it yet, but I've been working. But there was one in California. If I'm remembering right, I'll say all this so it'll be on this thing, and I'll listen and look later if I miss one. But there was at least one in California, 2 hangings in Texas, 1 in that Sheldon City Park, Iowa. And the truck driver that he was hung, or they say he hung himself. I just don't believe it. So I'm going to say he was hung. There was another one that I saw where this guy was talking about how it upset him his whole life. He watched him shoot him in a field and then hang him or something or whatever. But that was a long time back. But it happened. Okay, and it affects these people. And I'm trying to think of where the other one was at. Maybe somebody can help me. Make a comment if you can help me. So if you can think of where the other ones were at. But There was, like I said, I think it was 2 or 3 in Texas, 1 in California at least. Maybe it was 2 in California. There was a few in Georgia a few years back. I don't know where the other one was. Like I said, I counted 7, and it could have been a couple of reports, could have been, you know, doubled or something, but I don't think so. So let's see here. Black teen found hung outside of a school. I think that was one of them. But hey, type in where that was if you can think of the name of the town there. And basically, I just got here too, but I'm fixing to get off. But I'm going to put links up to everything I've got, and feel free in the comments to put links to what you're talking about when this drops as a video, and share this video. And tomorrow night I'll do a live and we'll talk about this, because there, like I said, the Sheldon City, Iowa is one, and I'm thinking, can it possibly be that this guy needs this trailer that I'm hooked to? There's no way. There's just no way, because seriously, the guy said you don't need it till tomorrow. Anyhow, you wouldn't believe it, people. I got like 2 yard dogs shining lights right up in my eyes. Crazy. Okay. So anyways, they moved. They just want to talk to each other. So yeah, so I mean, there's just so many of these, and they put it on the news. Off the bat, it's ruled suicide, and then it's buried. So let's see here. He was at Klein ISD school in Texas. That might have been one of the ones in Texas. There was a couple of them in Texas. I don't know if one of them had 2 people in Texas and the other one had 1. Hell, they had one in another country. I went looking for one. There was one in another country that they were not allowed to marry by the parents, and they said they think it might have been an honor killing just instead of just a happening. That was in India, though, that they were like hung together. That was kind of weird. But like all of this, like I said, I mean, look, either we're going to have an economy in a country where everybody's working for the betterment of everybody, and everybody plays a part and everybody has a role, and we get them all jobs, and everybody, you know, help the homeless and all this stuff, or we're just spinning our wheels and we're getting nowhere. I mean, and there's no sense in even going forward. There's no sense in doing anything. You know, it's already gotten to the point where they've got it where truckers, including me, are not trying to go to like Minneapolis and these cities that they've started riots and stuff in. And even people in England are showing what's going on, and they know that it's Antifa and that they're paid, and they've gone overseas in different places. You know, that Chaz place up there is some kind of autonomous zone. That's just to try to wreak havoc and start mess. So, which is, that's kind of actually funny, because they invited homeless people into Chaz to boost their numbers up, and they complained on Twitter that the homeless people took all of their supplies and food, or at least their food for sure, and left, and so they don't have food now. So that's kind of crazy that you know, and they're trying to plant stuff, but it's going to be, man, it's like 50 days before crops grow, and this is like a end of a season kind of thing. They're not going to grow as good as they do in the spring. It's going to be hot. It's going to take a lot of water. At that point up there, they just need to quit cutting the grass to the place, doing any services to the place, let them live in their own filth and trash for a while, wait till dysentery sets in, wait till they're begging to leave the place, and then, you know, take their names down and find out who they are and see where they go next and what kind of mess they start next. Maybe they can't arrest them for there, but they're carrying assault weapons in the streets up there, and told people, even reporters, they can't come in. Reporters are mad about it, which is kind of funny. So I hope the reporters get good video shots of these people and they can do facial recognition, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to be put on a list somewhere. But yeah, but back to this, you know, either we're lifting each other up, like we stand, all of us stand together, or we're all going to fall together. You can't have a nation of people. You can't have an economy. You can't have anything if you don't have the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. which nowadays it would be the butcher, the baker, and the car manufacturer. But you can't have, it's like a tripod. You can't have one group of people not there, because if you don't have a car, they can't get to work to be a butcher or a baker. If you don't have the food, the car manufacturer can't keep manufacturing cars. Everything relies on everybody doing their part. And I don't believe those are suicides. And if I'm correct in that, that's not moving forward at all. And people thinking they can just come up and sucker punch people in the street walking by, all of that's being caught on camera. You're gonna go to freaking prison for a very long time for doing that shit, and you're not getting away with it. So it makes no sense to do it. There's cameras everywhere. The police officers are wearing body cams, but even people have cams on them. And I know that there's, like I said, a conspiracy, and they don't know if that's even the same guy that was even a cop, and that, they said the ears are different and everything. They don't even know if that's a black swan, kind of a black flag, a false flag kind of thing. They don't even know, his neighbor said that he was they said he was a realtor. So there's all that. But this here, though, is real. People are dying, and I think if they're going to put it on the news and they're going to try to shrug it off after that, they need to start compiling data. They need to look at a timeline, and they need to start doing mathematical equations to figure out what is the mathematical likelihood that, one, people would even know how to tie a rope somehow to hang themselves, and where they would hang it from. And some of these people don't even have something to kick out from under them to stand on. They're like, how the hell do they even get up there? This kind of shit. I don't know how you get it into an 18-wheeler trailer. My mind's been working on that problem, and I'm a problem solver, and it's been bothering me. I've been thinking about that for damn months, maybe how long it's been, maybe a year or so. It's been bothering me that I'm like, how do you tie anything from the top of a trailer? Because I've been bracing loads for God knows how long, and I ain't figured that one out. Somebody's going to explain that shit to me. I don't know. If you know how to hang something that weighs, hell, 100, 150, 180, however much a person weighs, from the top of a trailer or from anywhere inside of a box of a trailer, what kind of a block and tackle spider web, that person would make one hell of a wrecker driver, because they could use a block and tackle and pull people out of ditches with that knowledge. Because I've known stories of them having an old timer wrecker driver come in and do things that a guy with a new wrecker couldn't do, because he had block and tackle and lots of rope. Looked like a spider shit all over the place, but then there's that. But it got him out. He pulled out a heavier load than he should be able to pick up, because he had block and tackle and rope. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of block and tackle mess situation, or what kind of string up situation somebody could even do on the inside of an 18-wheeler that does not have hooks up high. Up top is ribs, and those things are weak as shit. So riddle me that shit. I don't buy it. I'm not buying it, and you ain't gonna make me buy it. So I'll put up links. Anybody wants to say something, you go ahead. But the shit's happening, and it ain't right. It ain't true. It ain't proper, and the shit needs to stop. And I personally feel like we can't move forward as a nation, and you can't expect stuff on the shelves at Walmart and everywhere you want to be to go to buy stuff if we don't support everybody in what they're trying to do and lift everybody up. Because a truck driver can be white, pink, purple, crazy. It don't make a shit. It really don't. Doesn't matter what color you are, as long as you get that load there. There's a lot of people who are finding jobs driving trucks, no matter what color they are. Honestly, I think they need to start recruiting from the reservations, because there's no jobs there. I've always thought that. They need to talk to the Pueblo. Pueblo's got a hard time with money right now. They need to start actively recruiting truckers from the Navajo Nation, from Pueblo, from everywhere. Now, I do know they have that one Navajo truck line, and that's good, but that's just one guy, the one with his picture of his daughter on the side of the door. But, we need to start employing our nation, stop hurting our nation, and find out what the hell's hurting our nation and fix the shit. And the only way we're going to fix it It's to find out what's really going on. So, like I said, you make a few comments, and I'm gonna get off this thing. I'll put up links to what I see, or at least links to whatever. I'll put up a link to that one, and I'll put up comments of, like I said, what city and whatever. And if you can add to it, add to it. But there's something going on, and it's not fucking good, and it's no good for nobody. And you know, if the parents and the families and wives and sisters and friends and all that are saying there's no way that this should be ruled a suicide because that person's not suicidal, they know that person better than anybody. So something's going on, and it's happening nationwide. So you can say that people on a radio program, you can say that black people aren't being hung in the streets, but I beg to differ. So, like I said, you can make all the comments you want to, and then I'm gonna get off this thing. You know, it's just you can't just pass by the news and glance over it like that and not talk about it when there's so many questions in it, and all of the families have questions. So I think it's time to bring this up. It's bullshit, and it just needs to stop. And whatever the hell it is, they need to find out. You know, look, the truth about like I said, I can't get my head wrapped around how the hell somebody be in a trailer. You know, and I can't figure out a couple of these other ones. Some of them, they just don't give enough information to even put anything together, so you don't have a puzzle really because you got no pieces. But you know, when you hear things that aren't right about it, and what the family says about the person as a person, you're just not going to feed somebody that bullshit and make them believe it. You're just not. So I appreciate y'all coming. I'm gonna get off this thing. Like I said, I gotta get riding. My little break's about over, and y'all stay safe. I appreciate the like, and share this video. And like I said, you got homework to do. Search by state. I would say type in one for California and put California hanging ruled suicide. Then go each state. They're making news, local news, but then it's like the quickest news report you've ever heard in your life. And it's always ruled suicide. Always. So, people, if anything ever happens to me, I have no interest in suicide. I like me a whole lot. You ain't gonna see me trying to take me out. So, I'll say that. But I don't believe any of these other people feel that way either. And who the hell's gonna use a rope? Really? I mean, I don't know. So, stay safe. I'm gonna get off this thing. I'll put up that link to that one thing I've got, and then type in some other cities, and y'all go search it. You know, I bet you JD can find all of them. He's so good at searching stuff. So, stay safe and travel on the buddy system. You know, and you know, if you see something, say something. Especially these Antifa bastards, because by the time they do something, they know what the police response time is, and then they're out of there. So if everybody's holding up cameras, you be the one that's not trying to video it. You be the one to trying to call the police and tell them what's going on. Tell them it's here, this is going on, bam. So y'all stay safe, and hopefully our country won't burn to the ground and everybody in it. I'm out. Peace.